Hey, hey, hey. It's C Twiss and the general in the house.
Hi, we're finally doing it.
Yes.
Episode 1 of our pod.
And what's the name of the pod that we came up with after
2 years.
how many chat GBT searches?
It's a very simple one. Should we tell them?
Yeah.
It's
It's
called
now.
Welcome to Now, our
Yeah.
podcast now.
That we're starting now.
Now, because why wait?
Yeah.
We
Nothing like the present to make a move.
well, we're all about making moves here, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
In whatever we're doing. And
Mm-hmm.
we're trying to surround ourselves with other people that are open to opportunities as well.
Yes, that's right.
Well, we appreciate any one, two, three, 20 of you that might be listening. Why don't we tell them about ourselves, huh? Do you want to go
Yeah.
first?
No, you go. Let me just introduce C
Okay.
Twiss,
Okay.
Courtney Twiss. She's my best friend, my business partner, and just a bomb woman for those of you that don't know her. Yeah. So go ahead. Tell them.
Well, as Michelle said, my name's Courtney Twiss, and I have been in the lending and real estate business for 20 years. I know it's really hard to believe that because I look so young,
Younger than me.
much younger than Michelle, as we like to talk about.
She's in a different age bracket than me.
So I got into lending way back in 2003 when I got out of college and was commuting down in the Merced area, Central Valley of California, for those of you that don't know, and living in Mariposa, which is a beautiful, very quaint town outside Yosemite in the foothills. And while I got a lot of knowledge and did a lot of refis and got familiar with the subprime and that whole crazy market before the recession, it was definitely difficult for our family as we were having kids with me managing and having 12-hour days. So like probably many of you, I ended up kind of pivoting and getting into real estate in 2007. So I got to learn the ropes of the real estate industry with short sales and foreclosures. I was still in lending, so I had loans that were had wholesale lenders that were literally closing their doors on the day of funding. It was quite the market, and any of you listening that were part of that would agree. It definitely gave us some grit as we were learning how to navigate being a realtor. So fast forward, I went from learning the market to becoming a top agent in our market to opening up my own independent brokerage in 2012 and kind of putting on my leadership cap and less of the sales cap and focusing on growing a team and a company. So I think at one point we had over 40 agents, I think was in our max, and 3 office locations. So that's been an interesting journey, pivoting from sales to management to leadership to helping others grow their business and their brands. And then towards the end of last year, we ended up taking in yet another big move and we partnered with eXp Realty. So it's been quite the journey, met some great people along the way. Many of them you guys will hear of and hear them speak on our pod. And we're looking forward to doing this. Michelle and I have been talking about doing this podcast for like literally 2 years. And we've had it as part of our objectives and just kept pushing it off due to all the other things that we're doing. But we're here now and we're doing it. And so, Michelle, why don't you tell them about yourself? We call her the General, by the way. Ask the General on Instagram.
There's a
You'll
story behind that.
you'll learn why.
Okay, but before I go into my story, you kind of missed, I believe, a really big part of your story,
Hmm.
which is the backbone not only of the mission of Twist Realty, but one of our core values, failing with grace.
Mm-hmm.
So can we go back to you? I'm gonna throw it back to you, and because I think that's important.
Well, I mean, what you're referring to is learning from hardship.
Mm-hmm.
My husband's in construction, so we're both self-employed and have been for decades. And during the recession, it was really tough. He was in construction, I was in real estate. We were basically living outside of our means. like so many others. And I think at rock bottom, we were probably negative 500,000 net worth. It was a
Mm-hmm.
struggle. We lost our home in a short sale in order to try to keep our construction business going and floating. And we made some, unique decisions at that point of,
Mm-hmm.
all right, we're going to really buckle down. Beans and rice, for those of you that are Dave Ramsey fans, got ourselves out of debt. We were very creative on our living situation. We'll probably do more on that topic
Mm-hmm.
later on with
Mm-hmm.
finding different ways to find properties at a very
Mm-hmm.
low investment. So anyway, fast forwarding from that, took us about 7 years to really make sure that we were doing things the right way.
Mm-hmm.
Money in the bank, building our dream home, not having debt, to recognizing opportunities. We got into the Airbnb business in 2015, so we were fortunate to get in kind of early on that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And now here we are, 4 companies later, hotel owners.
Yeah.
It's been quite the journey. And yeah, that's true. We did build all of our companies around that mission.
Yeah.
For Twiss Realty Group, it's healthy home ownership, right?
Mm-hmm.
Educating, guiding our clients on how to build wealth in real estate
Mm-hmm.
without over leveraging.
Mm-hmm.
So she's right. That's the backbone of all that we've done.
Well, I think that's just a small part of why I like fell in love with you too, because it's like I feel like a lot of us as consumers, we think we know all the tricks in the trade and we're not in that much debt and we use the credit card for the points and we own a
Mhm.
home and you think you're chugging along like doing things like everybody else and
Mhm.
really there's like a better way. And
Mhm.
I think that you and Jared certainly impacted Bo and I in that specific way. So I just that's important to share with everybody because there's lots of gold nuggets
Mm.
on that topic alone that I feel like we have helped in the
Mhm.
past in our own little silo, right? On our
Yep.
own individual team
Mhm.
and with our customers. So that's kind of big.
Thanks, Michelle.
No problem.
Well,
I'm
now
Courtney's biggest fan. Can you tell?
why don't we talk about you now?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Well, yeah, as Courtney mentioned, my nickname's the General, which her and her husband gave me years ago,
Mhm.
but I was raised by a United States Marine. So I definitely was raised with a lot of discipline and that's provided a significant amount of value in my work ethic.
Mhm.
So I've been in sales and marketing for over 20 years, and Courtney likes to continually remind me to talk about my achievement as the top 1% sales agent in the world.
In the world, make sure you catch that.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a lot of like local, regional, and district recognition in my sales career, but the 1% in the world was pretty fantastic
In pharmaceutical sales
in pharmaceutical sales,
in
which,
San Francisco.
and yep. So I got to go overseas for a week to our headquarters in Paris and Venice.
Not
And
bad.
so that was really cool. So anyways, after all of that, I came to Mariposa, met Courtney through
Mhm.
our true story, our daughter's preschool. So I think June must have been 2.
Yeah, our
Yeah.
youngest, who's now 11.
Yeah. And my daughter was 3 at the time. And she said, "Oh my gosh, you got to come become a real estate agent." And I was like, "No way."
I don't know
But
why. It's not a stressful job at all.
well, coming off the heels of pharmaceutical sales, which is incredibly stressful, I was not interested in going into real estate. So
Mhm.
I kindly declined her invitation, but I did agree to work for her part time.
Mhm.
True story.
With my assistant first.
As her assistant in her mobile home in
Remember
the
beans and
kitchen.
rice era, beans and rice
Yeah.
era.
I think we were in her husband's shipping container at one point in time. So it was Courtney and
Which was our office.
yeah. Well, it started the mobile home,
Mhm.
the kitchen.
Kitchen table
So funny.
with a used computer that
Oh
didn't
my
even have
gosh.
Wi-Fi. That
Uh,
we had to get a little
USB.
USB. Get for you young ones out there, you probably don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
that we had to plug in to get Wi-Fi
Yeah.
because we didn't have any money.
Oh my
But
gosh.
we made it work.
We did make
And
it
then,
work.
and then we had a shipping container for my husband's fencing company that we converted into an office
Yep. We
that
shared
we
with them.
shared with desks that we got
It
from
was it was
basically a Goodwill.
it was sexy, let me tell you. Super sexy. But they were doing that while they were building the office in Mariposa. So you guys were saving for that,
In
trying
our
to,
house.
yeah, and the house. So
We moved at the speed of cash. Let's just say
yeah.
that.
Yeah. So it was fun. So I started to learn about real estate. I was her assistant. So I did all the stuff. Took a transaction coordinator class, ended up doing all of that stuff by paper at that time.
Yeah.
Courtney had a very specific way that she liked her files and a little sheet that had the contingency dates. And
hmm
so that was fun. So I started off with her and one other agent, and then fast forward, took it to where it is now. And I've become a real estate agent in the interim.
Well,
And
and you've been on the leadership team
yes,
for years because we
yes.
have run our business under something called EOS,
Mm-hmm.
which is another topic that we'll dive into later.
Mm-hmm.
Just Traction is a book recommend.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anyone out there looking for processes, how to
Mm-hmm.
get more structure about around
Mm-hmm.
running a business, that's what
Mm-hmm.
we've done for
Mm-hmm.
3 years now. Something along those
Maybe,
lines,
yeah.
maybe even more.
Kind of served as her integrator. She's a visionary. I'm the integrator.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of keep her on track,
Good luck.
like that's not a great idea. We're not doing that. This could be a good idea, So
Well, I have about 50 ideas,
yeah,
and maybe one of them's a good
yeah,
one for each
yeah,
of those.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my story in a nutshell. I was telling Courtney before we started this, like I had a short stale when I was in my 20s, made some bad choices. So, and then we bought our property as an investment, and that
Mhm.
was a short sale when we lived in San Francisco. So that was a great decision.
Yeah. Well, I think what a common thread that you'll find in our pod is that we're open to talking about all the shit that we have done wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The key is that we've learned and we're not doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
So we invite you to do the same. If you have any cool stories, we want to hear about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not uncommon for us to be talking about finances around the office.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I like ideas, so
Mm-hmm.
we're constantly bouncing
Mm-hmm.
that off of one another.
Mm-hmm.
I think, Michelle, something that maybe we can talk about a little bit today is how does someone become the top 1% in the world at
Mm-hmm.
whatever it may be? That might
Mm-hmm.
have been pharmaceutical sales, but I've
Mm-hmm.
been in enough executive coaching over the years with all industries of business
Mm-hmm.
owners to know that there's usually a commonality, no matter
Mm-hmm.
what industry, for the top
Mm-hmm.
1% of whatever it might be.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you give us some gold nuggets, as I
I
like
mean,
to
we
call
could
them?
I'll just touch on it. A few points.
Mm-hmm.
And then, later as we move forward in the podcast, we can maybe get more in the weeds on some of these things. But any any particular effort that we try to do, whether it's professionally or personally, I mean, even look at our health journeys. Like
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things that we try to do in life um, take discipline. And so obviously I was raised with a profound amount of discipline, given my
Mm-hmm.
father's background. But in sales specifically, like just doing the basics, mastering them, like having a plan, executing the plan, having your goals in mind, like knowing precisely what you're going to do every single day, every week, every month, every quarter, so that everything aligns for the year. Like on your best day, most people don't do that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Agreed.
I mean, especially
Yeah.
when you have a corporate card, you got a gas card, you have a corporate credit card, you have a crazy salary. I mean, when you have all that, a lot of people just coast and do the minimum, right?
Content.
Yeah, just show up. I'm going to say hi to my customers. I'm going to do the basics and check out for the day.
Okay with being okay.
Pretty much,
Yeah.
which, you know,
Each their own.
teach their own. But if you want to be the top 1%,
Mm-hmm.
like you have to do all of those things really well. And then you really need to look at ways to provide value to your customers over and above. So really thinking
Mm.
outside of the box, really being creative. And I mean, I could talk about all the different ways that I've done that, but um, when you think of how you do that, it's almost like you got to be like, you're told, no, that'll never work.
Uh-huh.
Right? Like, nah, you can try that, but that'll never work. Okay,
Watch me.
watch me. You just have to have like, obviously the discipline to do the basics really, really well, look outside the box for opportunities, learn, and then never take no for an answer.
Yeah. Well, we have a really good friend, and if you're listening, you'll know who we're talking about. She retired from UPS and was, had been
Mm,
there for 30 years. And I remember her saying, you need to surprise and delight.
mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's what you're saying, right? Don't
Mm-hmm.
just do what you know you need to do. You got to go
Mm-hmm.
above and beyond
Mm-hmm.
in additional value
Mm-hmm.
and surprise and delight,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's your client, whether you're owner, broker,
Mm-hmm.
team lead for your team.
Mm-hmm. Almost like so where they don't even see it coming,
Yeah.
where you're like, this is what I'm going to do. And then you do it and they're like, oh, like,
Where'd that come
where'd
from?
that come
How'd
from?
she think of that? Love it.
So anyways, we
Table
can,
here.
we can talk more about those things and strategies later, but honestly, that's,
Oh,
couple things. I had a really great partner.
uh,
So speaking of partnerships,
oh.
I do want to mention that while I was a really great sales representative for all those years, when I won that trip, I had a great partner. And she was in the market for several years by herself. But when I
Mhm.
joined her, the two of us together made it happen. So,
Well, we get asked a lot. Wow, you guys have a unique,
mhm.
I don't know if to say relationship, but we're best friends and have been for almost a decade. Yeah,
Yeah,
June's almost 12.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we've been best friends. We work together. We see each other pretty much every day. We talk to each other every day. And we don't fight. And it is kind of odd
It's really
from
weird.
outsiders looking in. And it's like, what's our secret sauce? What do you think? I don't even know.
Um, I mean, I obviously I feel like just to the core, we see things a lot alike.
Mm-hmm.
What I mean by that is it's like we don't get hung up in the weeds on the bullshit. Excuse my French, but facts are facts. Like we just don't, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we just go to with the flow, like whether we're traveling together. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
she does tease me a lot because I am kind of stuck in my ways with some things, but I don't take it personally. I was kind of my point is like to the core, we're not easily offended.
No.
We don't sweat the small stuff.
Well, if any of you have done any kind of personality tests, right? We have DISC assessments, which we've had everyone in our group do. So Michelle's a high D. I'm high D, high I, like right up the
Which
middle.
you'd think that would be conflicting, except you have a little bit of that eye. I
I
don't
have a lot
know.
of I
Yeah.
rotate. So the D's in us are like, get to the point, speak to us in
Yeah.
bullet points. We like bullet points. But then I'm also super excited. That's visionary in me, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
I guess where I'm going with that is that we have learned and been coached to be more self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
So we see each other's blind spots and then we fill them.
Mm-hmm.
So this girl is way more detail oriented than I am and will catch things that I will miss, which has been helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, you're pretty enthusiastic, but I guess I
No, you
definitely lead
totally
the party.
no. I can execute the party.
I have the ideas
She's
for
got
the
the vision
party.
for the party. And I'm
And then
like,
you're like, you can't do that. Or we can
yeah,
do that.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's also, probably a spiritual thing. We're both women of
Religious.
faith,
Mm-hmm.
which is another topic, but that probably helps too because we see the world in a similar light,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, I think so. And it's definitely worked for us.
Mm-hmm.
And we're meeting all sorts of great people
Mm-hmm.
in our industry right now. We're going to some great events. We've got an
Mm-hmm.
event with Brent Gove in Cabo in
Mm-hmm.
a month.
Mm-hmm. Which is he's an amazing individual.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, ever since we partnered with EXP. That's a whole nother topic.
Well, we've just been able to really, expand our network and, proximity principle, right? You are the
Mm-hmm.
most like the five people that you're around. So we've got some
Mm-hmm.
pretty stellar people in our world,
Mm-hmm.
in our bubble, and it's been a lot of fun to keep learning from
Mm-hmm.
others. So we're excited to bring the heat. Stay tuned. We'll be putting a pod out pretty much every week with some great speakers, some great topics.
Yeah.
Again, we're open to hearing from you, and we'd love for you guys to follow us on our Instagram. Michelle, tell them your handle again.
Ask the general.
And then mine's all things Twiss. And you can, look at a little peek into our world.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's about it.
Well, we did not touch on, we talked about a little bit about things to come, but this gal right here has an enormous amount of experience in some areas that I think many of you people will want to hear about. So why don't you
What are they?
just leave them with a little like teaser
Hmm.
um of, I don't know, vacation rentals,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
just that kind of stuff
I
that
am
they
an
might,
investor as
yeah.
well. I have a lending company. So yes, my husband and I got into the Airbnb market 2015.
Hmm.
We've done some 1031s. We've used the leverage and have bought
Yeah.
a hotel. So we will definitely go into that some more. I know that's always a fun, super fun topic.
Yeah.
We'll get some savvy investors on here, maybe to share their experiences
Hmm.
as well. But
Yeah.
that is, yeah. Again, follow us. You'll
Yeah.
welcome to
There's
our
like a
world.
lot of stuff. So we are very excited to be able to serve you.
Yes, to surprise and delight.
Yes. It's
So
just now.
stay tuned. Stay tuned.
All right. Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.